Hi guys, Buddy 1927 here, aka Buddy Walter, and this is my real life. I haven't done a video in a while, and of my real life, I've been kind of sick and not feeling so good. Diabetes is kicking my butt right now. I'm up to 45 units of insulin a day, plus 2,000 milligrams of metformin a day. My weight's going up and down, but right now it's going down, so that's a good thing. I'm on new different blood pressure medicine because my blood pressure is still high. Hey, that's my life. I'm still getting shots in my right eye. I'm legally blind. I got diabetic retinopathy in my right eye, where last time I went was about 2 weeks ago to the eye doctor. My vision in my right eye was 2400 and 2040 in my left eye. So I barely make it the legal things. I'm still waiting on Social Security disability. I have set up a GoFundMe page where there will be a link down below to help me start a breeding, a saltwater fish breeding, where I can breed primarily clownfish and set up a tank and start propagating corals. And what that does basically is any captive bred fish that are bred have a longer life and a better survival rate in an aquarium because they were born in the aquarium, so they don't know the ocean. And it doesn't take from the ocean. So every one fish I sell as captive bred, that's one less fish taken out of the ocean. If propagating corals, for every frag, which is what, when you propagate, you got little frags. For every one frag I sell, that's one coral not taken from the ocean. The coral reefs are very important to the ocean's ecosystem, very important, and also to communities, and it helps. Like, the reefs actually help keep the water clean. Also, they stop water surges and stuff like that. Like if a hurricane was coming, it helps mediate the tidal storm surge onto the beach. And if you didn't have that, you would have worse storm surge. So, okay, what would you like to know about me? Well, 35 years as a volunteer firefighter, 35 years working and volunteering in EMS as a paramedic. I can tell you some of the stories. Let me tell you one of the stories that's been on my mind here recently. This happened about 10 years ago. As a matter of fact, where I'm living now. I've had to move back in with my mom. I moved in with my mom because I ran out of money. But when I first moved to North Carolina, I lived here. I'm still in Goldsboro, but I live in what they call the Salson community. I was captain of the first responders and a firefighter engineer for Salson and president of Salson Fire Department. And we had this call, a double wide that was on fire, and we were the second engine in. Everybody got out except for this 10-year-old girl. And when I got out of the truck, I was already masked up and all that, the chief of the other department saw me and told me to do a search of the ticket team and go do a search while they knocked down the fire. So I searched the rooms that were not engulfed by flames. And when the chief told me that, you could hear this girl scream and help me, help me, help me in the fire. And I went inside, and then I searched the areas that weren't affected by the fire, and the other half of the trailer that was on fire was fully engulfed. And I had one of the they had 2 tack lines. I had them try to make a path for me so I can get into the other bedrooms on the other side of the trailer. And the floor was so burnt, I actually fell through the floor up to about here, because the trailer was up a little high. So I was up to here in floor, so I had to get out. I was wearing an air pack, and I couldn't get to the bedroom. I got outside, reported to the chief, and we couldn't find anything. So after the fire was knocked down, I was placed in charge of doing body recovery, finding the body and all that. We found the little girl in her bedroom, in her closet. Her whole body was burnt up, and if you looked at it, you wouldn't recognize it as a human. That's how much her body got burnt up. And I still have dreams about this. So Mom and Dad were taken to the hospital initially for smoke inhalation, and while the fire was still going, and Dad came back, and Dad actually did a bad thing. The fire started in the living room, and Dad was trying to, the master bedroom was on one side of the trailer, her bedroom was on the other side of the trailer, and Dad decided to break out the window to try to get her, and when he did, it flashed on him. He actually received some burns on his hands and face, but he went against medical advice and left and came back to the scene, and kept on asking the chief if we found the body, and I came out to report to the chief. Then the chief told me to go ahead and tell him that we did find the body. So I had to tell him that his 10-year-old daughter died. I didn't tell him that one of the reasons why she died was because of you breaking the window. I did not do that, but I had to tell him that his daughter was dead, and that we did find the body. He did ask me if he can go see the body, and I told him no. In the state of North Carolina, when we have a fatality in a fire, we have the State Bureau of Investigation, or SBI, not FBI, but SBI. They'll come out and do the investigation, and we can't remove the body until they give us the okay, and they do their investigation, make sure it's not arson. Plus, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department also had an arson investigator there too to find out if it was arson or the cause. And back when I lived in Maryland and was on an independent hose company, I got a degree from the University of Maryland in arson investigation. Yeah, I'm stupid. I should have used that instead of doing what I did when I was young. But when you're young, you're stupid. You don't think straight. But the arson investigator for the sheriff's department knew me personally and knew my background, so he asked me to come and help him see if we can find a source of the fire. And we found the source of the fire. It was the electric wall socket that had the TV plugged in. It had a TV plugged in there, a DVR plugged in there, a VCR player, a DVD player, all plugged into two plugs, plus a light, two lights for this, where they had two lights on each side of the TV stand. So you had 6 items plugged into two outlets, a one outlet, 2 socket outlet, and it just got overloaded and caught on fire, and started at, the fire was at midnight, a little past midnight. And by the time I left the scene, we got there. My engine got there. I arrived on scene exactly at 12:08 a.m. And by the time I left, I had a call off work. I was working for Wayne County EMS at the time, and the deputy called my supervisor saying that he needed my hand in the investigation. Plus SPI had to do questioning on me because I'm the one who found the body, and I also was the one who was in charge of the search. They had to get my statement of what I saw. The arson investigator had to get my statement of what I saw and all there. I finally left. My engine actually left the scene that I rode in on, so I was kind of stranded. The chief was still there, and he had one of his engines on the scene. And then his engine left while I was helping the arson investigator with Wayne County Sheriff's Office. And I walked out. There's no fire engines. I had no way to get back. So the arson investigator ended up turning finish his initial investigation. He had a deputy stay on scene. I finally left there around. I got back to my car. The deputy drove me to the fire station where my car was parked at, and I finally got to my car around 5:30 that evening. So I was on scene for quite a while. I also had to, once the SPI released the body, so it can go to the medical examiner, I had to help with that recovery too, and just go from there. But those are some of the things that you got to face as working in EMS, working as a firefighter. Death is something that you deal with every day. I do now suffer from post-traumatic stress because of my 35 years as a paramedic, my 35 years as a firefighter, seeing the stuff I've seen. And I'm classified as old school. You don't talk about your feelings. You don't talk about what happened. You just bury it. And after 35 years of burying it, it got to me. And what, you want to be on YouTube? Come here. I don't know. Can you see Princess? Can you see Princess, the camera shy dog? Yes. So that's where we are. you like this video, please like us on YouTube. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. That way you know when the latest videos that I do come out. Also, follow me on Twitter, on Facebook, or player.me. When I do every once in a while, and once I get myself situated again, health-wise, I'll be doing some live streams on YouTube. Check out my GoFundMe page. There's a link down below for everything, for my GoFundMe page. And if you can help, I would appreciate it. So I'd like to thank you for watching, taking your time to watch it, and have a great day.